Much for joining us, guys. This is discrete structures, or officially इसको हम quantitative reasoning 1 कहते हैं. Okay. Let's get started. About me, I am Dr. Mudassir Shabir. I am an associate professor at ITU. I have been at ITU for last almost 10 years. Okay. In September is going to be 10 years exactly. Before that, I was at few places. I'm going to show pictures of those places, and you're going to guess what those places are. What's this? Raise hands. Below? This is PUCIT or Punjab University. I did BS from there. This is LUMS. Everyone knows this. This is Rutgers. I did my MS from there, New Jersey. This is also Rutgers. I did my PhD from there. This is cute little place called Los Alamos National Labs. I did my internship there, and this is interestingly the place where the first atomic bomb was designed and constructed. This is the lab where they kind of constructed the first atomic bomb. Okay, so I did an internship there in summer. It's in New Mexico on the border of US and Mexico. This is, some people recognize it. Do you? Do you know what this place is? This is Bloomberg headquarters in New York. If you look at the corner, maybe you can read the words here, okay? February 21 to February 23, I was at Vanderbilt University, which is also in the US, and I was actually teaching there, okay? Anyhow, okay, so I've been to a few places. I did my PhD in discrete math, so you can trust me when I talk about discrete things. My research interests include graph neural networks. We will learn in a bit what graphs are. In a bit, I mean in few weeks. And also discrete geometry. Yeah, most recently I was a research assistant professor at Vanderbilt University. Yeah, so you already know Ravid and Narmeen just left, I think. We're going to have 7 other teaching staff or volunteer TAs: Abdurrafe, Barira, Sara, Hamza, Naveed, Mehreen, and Saleha. Saleh is, I think, at the back. You haven't met her yet. These are actually the star students from the last year. So they're going to be part of the teaching crew this time. Okay, get to know each one of them. Okay, you should know them by face and by name. Reaching out, we are going to be using Slack for discussion, so I want you guys to join the Slack as soon as possible. That's the best place to get in touch with me and with any of these guys. Okay, you send them a message there, you'll probably get an answer within a few hours. Okay, you can also send me an email. I would suggest that you put discrete structures in the subject line. Okay, that will help me reach to you earlier. I kind of receive about 200 to 300 emails which are not spam, and I have to go through all of them. So it helps if I know that it's a relevant email or not. Okay. I would suggest कि आपकी जो email है वो it's formatted well. That's kind of biggest complaint of people who want to reach me. Their emails are not formally written. Okay, I would want that you introduce in the first paragraph yourself. Okay, okay, you introduce yourself in the first line or so, and then you kind of specify what the problem that you want my help with. Okay, with some context. My office is on the 6th floor, but I would hardly ever be physically available. Okay, I'll mostly be available on Slack. All right, that's how you can reach me out. Are we good? Okay. So the game we are going to play is that we are going to learn discrete structures or quantitative reasoning together, and there are a few rules that we're going to follow. Okay. The first rule is that you are either going to call me Dr. Mudassir, or you're going to call me Professor or Professor Mudassir, or you're just going to call me Mudassir. Okay. You're not going to call me Sir Mudassir. Okay. इसका कोई मतलब, this does not kind of formalize our relation. Okay? Our relation is I'm your professor, right? So that's probably what you should use. If you want to be informal, just call me Mudassir. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? All right. So that's the first rule. The second rule is you are going to have your cell phones turned off during the whole of this class. Okay? Not on silence, not on, I don't know, put down, turned off. Turn them off right now. Go ahead. So if there is some emergency and you need to be available during the class, you come to me before the class and tell me that this is my emergency and I need to take a call or need to be available on call, and I'll let you keep your phone on. Okay? But other than that, your phone should always be off. Okay? If I find out, and if it rings, or if I find out your screen is blinking or whatever, there are going to be punishments for that. Okay? The third rule is you are supposed to be here on time. Our class starts at 1 p.m. I expect everyone to be here at 1:05. Okay? If you are late more than 5 minutes, do not enter the classroom. Okay? First of all, I won't let you. Okay? I won't let you come in. The second is that I will note your face and name. Okay? Which is going to be problematic for you. Okay? No whispering. I hate people talking to each other during the classroom. I'll give you a time when you can talk to each other, but during my lecture, you will not talk to each other. Okay? You will talk to me. If you have anything to say, talk to me. If you have problem with the material that I'm delivering, talk to me. If you have a joke to tell, talk to me. Raise your hand and say that there's a joke I need to tell someone. Okay? And I'll give you stage and you'll tell it to everyone. Okay? If you don't want to come to the stage, you want to tell it in secret, I'll give you my ear. Okay? Don't worry about it. You can say anything you want, but you have to talk to me. You need to involve me in the conversation. Agreed? Yes. Okay. Awesome. I want you to be honest and courteous in class. I think what I believe is that during this whole semester, if you learn anything about discrete structures and you fail this course, that's kind of fine with me. I don't have a problem with me. There are students who failed this class for me, and I wrote their recommendation letters, and they are in some crazy place in US, doing great. But both of us have respect for each other. The reason being, they were always honest with me. Okay? If there is a quiz, there is a homework, we need to have a mutual respect. If we lose that thing, तो फिर the thing जो मैंने अभी आपको कही कि you need to call me professor, वो फिर उसका कोई फायदा नहीं रह जाता. Okay? You'll be saying professor, but you would never mean it. हमारा relationship नहीं रहेगा. Okay? Our relationship is based on mutual trust. You need to be honest. मैं उसकी आपको एक दो examples दे देता हूँ. एक of course मैंने आपको दी कि plagiarism is absolutely, strictly unacceptable in this class. Okay? Second part is very light instructions. For example, if you are doing a quiz in the class and I ask you that your time is up, stop writing. You should stop writing, regardless that there is some tiny part of the answer that's left जो अभी आपने लिखना है. When I tell you that you stop writing, you would stop writing. Do I have all of you on board? Yes. Yes? Yes? Yes. Okay. Cool. Moving on. This is the book that we are going to use. These slides are, by the way, going to be available. Okay, for the slides, I'll make sure that I'll get the slides to you within a couple of days. The whole activity of the class, you need to be able to record it, either in your brain or on paper, whatever works for you. Okay. The slides are kind of a courtesy on my behalf, which I'm sharing with you. Okay. All right, so we're going to use discrete mathematics in its application by Kenneth Rosen. We use 7th edition. I think there is also an 8th edition which works. So it's not going to be a big trouble. कि edition आप कौन सा ले रहे हैं? But I think there are about 5 or 6 copies of this book available in the library, so you can go and check it out. What you're going to be able to live with is if you consult the book on kind of daily or or at least twice a week basis. Okay, which means that if you go to the library, you pick up the book and spend a couple of hours looking at the problems, which are similar to the problems that we discuss in the class, you're going to be okay. That will work. Are we good? Communication. We are going to use a Google Classroom, and here's the link for the Google Classroom. We kind of made it easy to read, so you go. That will take you to the invitation of the Google Classroom. Okay. We'll also use Slack, which is on Google Classroom. You'll see class material like these slides. Assignments and assessments. You'll see how much you were awarded on a given quiz or homework. Okay. Slack is mostly for online discussions and announcements. Okay. If there's going to be, God forbid, a class cancellation, you'll see an announcement in the Slack. If you need help with something and you need to reach out at TA, you should be able to do it using the Slack platform. Okay. Don't mix the two. All right, so Slack for the communication, discussions, and announcements, and Classroom for materials and assessments. Okay, awesome. So I expect that you check both of these channels on a very regular basis. Okay, at least twice daily. And to help you kickstart, I'm asking you to introduce yourself on Slack in the random channel, and I'll give you 2 points towards your first quiz for that. Okay. Also, if you have any questions or answers, feel free to ask or answer on the Slack. Okay. So you'll have full access on the Slack, which means that if people are asking questions, you should be able to answer those questions. And I'm noting that activity. Okay. That activity has points. Questions? Are we good? Okay, so this is the most kind of important part of today's class, which is I'm going to tell you about grading. There are going to be 4 homeworks that we'll share on the Google Classroom, but none of these homeworks are graded. So we don't expect you guys to submit those homeworks. We expect you guys to do those, but we don't expect you to submit those. The final exam is going to be, so these are sorted by, except for the first one, these are sorted by these numbers. Okay. The final exam is 30%. The quizzes are going to be 20%. These quizzes are mostly going to be based on the homeworks that we give you. Okay. We'll give you 1 homework per roughly a month, but we'll have about 4 or 5 quizzes each month. Okay, that will be based on the homeworks that we gave you. Okay. Apart from quizzes, we will also have class worksheets. Class worksheets we allow you to do in pairs. These are like quizzes, but one-to-one discussion is allowed. We'll make pairs, and you'll do the problems on the worksheet in pairs, so you can talk to each other. Okay. That's worksheets. Uske baad we have midterm exam, which is 15%. We also have a new component this time, show and tell. There's also a group activity, which is to get you guys to work together. Okay, you will make groups of 4, 5, or 6 people. You'll get together for about half an hour to 40 minutes, and you will record the whole session. Okay, you'll pick a topic. We'll give you some topics, but given that topic, you will pick a question or a concept that we discussed in the class, and then you will spend that half an hour talking to each other or explaining to each other that concept or the solution to that problem. Okay, but you will record the whole session. You will submit the recording to us, and for that we will give you 6%. Okay, there are going to be about 4 group activities. We usually do 4, right? Yeah, there are going to be 4 group activities. So these are kind of freebies. Okay, so 6% just for doing that. Okay, you could be doing a problem, but you might be doing it completely wrong. Okay, we won't punish you for doing it wrong. We'll punish you for not doing it. Okay. Class participation is 4%. This is actually class and online participation. Okay, I'll see how you are participating on the Slack channel and how you participate in the class. Okay, any questions? Does it sum up to 100? I was actually making this before the class. I changed a few things from the last. This is 100, right? Okay, good, awesome. Questions? No? All right, okay, let's get going. Show and tell, yeah. So show and tell is going to be a series of presentations. Okay, we decided that we will have 3 of those. Roughly 5 weeks from now would be the first session. In each session, we will have 5 presentations. Presentations would be in the groups of 4 to 5 people, and each group will present only once during the whole term. Okay. So the question becomes, who will be the first group to present in the 5 weeks? Okay. I'll take volunteers if someone says that our group is going to do the first presentation. But if there are no volunteers, I would do the random ordering. Okay, I'll pick some people, and I'll give you 2 weeks to prepare those presentations, and you can give those presentations. Presentations are going to be about 10 to 15 minutes each. This activity is designed and owned by Saleha Shoaib, who was here a moment ago. So you can reach out about the details. Okay, all right. By this time, usually people have asked a few questions. All right, okay, so this is the scale of the grading. The grading is in general relative, but I kind of honor these boundaries almost meticulously. Okay, if you score more than 90, you are almost certain to get an A, and if you score less than 60, you are certain to get an F. Okay, but apart from that, there could be margins of few points here and there.